What a rich CV. I mean, you are a political leader in the United Kingdom and a traditional leader, here in Nigeria. So, which one ultimately shapes your worldview?
My role as a traditional ruler, the values that I have been given. I have to say first, via the family I grew up in. I was born and bred in a Shango-led compound in Lagos.
In fact, there are many traditionalists that would not want to identify publicly, with the religion. So we have more of Christians, Muslims, in Nigeria, and people feel the traditional religion is, evil and archaic and all of that. So how are you trying to clarify, or how successful, has it been?
Let me start off with the most cherished privilege I've had on the two influential royal fathers of Ojire. Some will use the word Yoruba. My first encounter was with the immediate past Ooni of Ife, that is Olubushi II Ooni Okwade. He met me in England as a politician. The other person, of course, who gave me the title of Erelu, many will recall very clearly, and that's Oba Funsho Ajiun Shatalui Alayode of Remo, Alayode Remo.
Yeah.
He also met me in England and saw something I didn't see. I would say the two successfully enabled me to understand how to go about it. Both of them stood for the truth. And the truth I want to first lay before you is this word religion. And this word religion has recently, I would say 2018, even made crystal clear by the incumbent Arole Odua Olofin Ademola Oni Ogunwusi Ojaja II. I had the privilege of holding a 3-day conference, which he actually hosted that for me. And during the 3-day conference, he sat down. It was Yoruba speaking Olorisha Leaders Conference. And he sat down and listened to all what the participants had to say about the world of Orisha. And he left all of us with one important message, that Orisha Oke is the entity that our ancestors handed over to us, Orisha Oke. Now, the word Orisha is something I need to emphasize. It's a shortened version of a longer word. Any Orisha. Orisha has come from a longer word. Any Orishada, a person that destiny selected and created. It doesn't mean idol. It cannot be translated to any other word. Orisha, Ori, head, select. Orishada, any Orishada. That was the name given to all our ancestors. Obatala, Shango, Oshun, Yemoja, any Orishada. Those that destiny created for a purpose. Those with special missions. So when you say religion, it is very controversial.
So are you saying it's not a religion?
It is not a religion.
Okay. But with respect to Orisha, there's also this popular saying that Orila Babo Abafi Orisha Sile.
The word bo is what you need to understand. Bo, feed. It doesn't mean worship. Two words. One is bo. One is bo. Bo. Bo means feed. I'm bo. I'm fulonje. The other word means is equivalent of see. Okay. And you see, our ancestors didn't believe that.
Okay, so what about deity? Because some would say Orishalewa, these are deity.
The more you try to allocate Anglo-Saxon words to Yoruba, you're creating major difficulties for yourself. Orisha is Orisha. Don't call it deity. When you hear the word Buddha, have you ever heard anybody replace Buddha with something else? Orisha is Orisha. It's not deity, it's not idol. When you talk about religion, however, I'll come to one Orisha. That Orisha is known as Oromila. He had incredible gift to hear and see. Our ancestors were hearers and seers. They were hearers and seers. And they were feelers. Wherever they stepped, they would get messages. The gift of the Spirit to feel, to see, to hear. Let me say, Oduduwa, said to be the progenitor of the people known as Yorubas. He had no single Orisha, Orisha Uke. That's why every September of each year, any Oni in place, Oni Orisha, a person of Orisha, a representative of Orisha. Our Oni represent all the 400 Orishas, our ancestors, our mentors, those who Olodumare gave the ground to, and what Olodumare fi ilẹ̀ lọ́wọ́, the owners of the land, those from whom we have all descended. Every September, for 7 days,
okay,
His Imperial Majesty will go in to listen to the voice. There's no Orisha. 7 days, he go into seclusion. They call it Olojo Festival. That is the way he connects with God. That's what our ancestors left us with.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is we cannot translate this into English.
We must not.
There's no English name, for Orisha,
no.
Obatala, Shango, because some would say Shango is a god of thunder.
Total mistake. Who told you so? I am a direct living evidence of the fact that Shango was a human being.
But Shango manifests in the use of thunder, Ara.
There is Ara. Ara is separate from Shango. In Ife, Ara is separate from Shango. Ara is a different entity.
There's a thunder. The traditionalists would say, Shango, that's a manifestation of Shango.
Thank you. Shango was somebody who was quick-tempered. And that's why when you see the Shango dancers, they show him with this energy. He was also somebody who used to go into trance. So when you see the Shango dance, the Elegun, they use the word Elegun, the one that Shango takes over. Some call it possession. Let me make something clear. There's a belief that once upon a time there was a Shango, a mythical Shango. But the fact is, the only Shango who was given the title Kabiesi is the one known as Delauko, who was one of the sons of Oromio, who is the owner of the throne that is called Oyo of today, not previous Oyo. The previous Oyo, Oyo-Ile, was Oromiyan Ajaka. He only tried to rescue it, and he has brought it to where it is.
Okay,
so let me make it quite clear. Shango is not Ara. Shango was a human being. When Shango was alive, he had quick temper, hot temper, anger, and he would roar in a way that people equated that to thunder. But Ara exists alone.
Really? Because, I mean, sometimes if someone stole an item, they would say, let's go to Shango, and the manifestation of that will be this thunder. So I'm just hearing for the first time, like, behind.
Well, you see, that's why I said once upon a time, there was a Shango, spiritual Shango. You are talking about two now. The real Shango that we all know is Shango Alaafin Oyo.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm also explaining to you that the word Shango has been given to him as a nickname because his way of life, his behavior reflected the Shango.
Okay. So which means there's like a mistaken identity.
It's not mistaken.
Misconception.
It's like somebody, I hate to use this example. Can you imagine anybody being called Jesus? Exactly. Can you imagine anybody being called Mary? People are called Mary, and yet they are not mother of Jesus, are they?
Yeah, they aren't. Okay. So now, like we were saying the other time, explaining the etymology of Orisha.
Yes.
What about those that would say, oh, in a household, this is our own Orisha? Like you said, I wouldn't want to use the English. So is that right? Because you are trying to paint a picture of maybe Orisha is not something you put at your backyard and you go there to worship.
I will say this to you again. When you use this word worship, it's English word.
Well, you know, interestingly, this is an English program. I'm trying to...
It's English word, worship. We use the same word when it comes to husband and wife. Can you tell a woman to worship husband? But yet they do what is equivalent of worship.
Okay.
Yes? Now, let me repeat some of the things you ought to note. Our father, that meaning your biological father, your biological mother, you also worship. But they're not your God. They're not Orisha. They are not Olodumare. They are not Almighty God. So the word worship is like when you use the word Ogun, 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 Ogun. One spelling, numerous.
Yeah.
Right. What refers to Orisha, two words. Bo Orisha, Sin Orisha, Sin. Àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn, àwọn tó ń sìn.
Okay.
Ẹlẹ́sìn means following the way.
Okay.
Following the way.
So for those that have something in the backyard that they sing, what is that? Is that Orisha? Because I'm trying to say, okay, Orisha, is different from all of that.
Orisha, is the Almighty God that everybody else call upon.
So for those that have something in the backyard, they always say Orisha, Dilewalile. Is that right?
Ani Ojubo. What you are talking backyard is Oju Ibo, Oju Tatin Fulonje.
Well, it shows you have a lot.
Oju Ibo.
Yeah.
You see, let me say this to you. If you say this is Ogun, that is the place they used to feed Ogun.
So not Orisha.
It's not the Orisha, it is Oju Ibo.
Okay, then you have a lot of enlightenment to do. Because
I still do.
Traditionalists will tell you this is the Orisha. They see it as Orisha. So I'm just saying for the first time that no, that's not the Orisha. That's just like an Ojubo. But no, you've talked about Oni, you know, in your conversation.
Yes.
There's this supremacy battle between who is bigger, between Oni and Alafin. Before it used to be subtle. But recently, even in the open, you could see that tension. You could see that rivalry of who is bigger, who is a bigger king, who is the foremost king in the Yoruba culture, who is the, so I think maybe you could answer that. Because
let me first of all say that I have a privilege of working with many of us. And I'll say they are victims of a group of people that are stirrers of the pot. Àwọn ọba, ìṣòro tán ní làwọn tí wọ́n kó tira. Ìṣòro tí wọ́n ní, the challenges the obas have, happens to be those that surrounds them. Before the current Alafin, we had issues. And I don't talk what I haven't been part of. I don't rely on newspaper. I'm an active traditionalist. I knock the doors of Obas. I engage them and ask questions. The previous Alafin, immediate past, the controversies surrounding himself and the immediate past Oni was more about history. Wherever I went in to speak to both of them, not because I wanted to settle it. I've had that privilege to do so. I didn't have to knock the door. There was nothing to settle. It's about the story. Let me make it quite clear to you. Alafin is a descendant of Oromiyan. Whereas the Onis are direct descendants of Oduduwa. They are based in Ife. Now, those who are descendants of Oromiyan, they moved their way to Oyo-Ile. So the story they will know about Ife, there's bound to be discrepancy. And then when Oyo-Ile fell apart, most people don't acknowledge this issue. Shango actually, unfortunately, had so many children, he had to scatter them about. Some of the descendants of Shango today, they are known as Igbono. They are not known as Oyo. Okoirese, Omo Woyira. Woyira koma ba erukeru abilala lenu Ajishola Omo Kele Ogun. Oko people now, they are known as Igbono. Igbonina. So, to answer your question, what has been the issue? Our words. The big question, do we really have people called Yoruba? Truly, who are the Yorubas? Ifes are not Yoruba. They are Ife.
Not Yoruba?
No. Ife Oye. Ife Oye. From Ife Oye came Oromiyan. Oromiyan went to Oyo-Ile, and Oyo-Ile was the beginning of where they started calling people this Yoruba business. This word Yoruba is the issue.
But they speak Yoruba language.
Who told? No, there's not.
What do they speak in Ife?
Ife. Ife.
What language?
Let me give you an example. If you go to Ife and say, Eku Ijoko, they will answer you. They will say, Mbe, Eku Kale la wawi. Eku Ikale. Take a trip to Ife and see if you understand a lot of what they say. There's a word that is creating problem. This word Yoruba.
But even here too, we see Eku Kale. So
you here say Eku Kale. Go to Lagos, they Eku Ijoko. Go to other places.
Yeah,
let me make my point.
I understand their dialects, you know.
I'm sorry, that dialect is superior.
That doesn't remove the Yoruba-ness.
No, there's nothing called Yoruba. None called Yoruba. I'm sorry to be very fair with you. This is where we got problems with Yoruba. Ife Metalani, we've had 3 Ifes. We are all Ife people. About time they change this nonsense and start calling everybody Ife. We are all Ife people. What is the right thing to do is to say we are all speaking Ife languages. That's where we all came from. Nobody spoke Yoruba that you're talking about before Oromio left. We are all Ife people. About time, it's changed. What they are saying in Egba is Ife. What they are saying anywhere, Ife languages. That's going to sort out the problem. The only group of people that should call themselves Yoruba truly are the Yoruba people. They are the only people. They are the only people that are Yoruba. And that is why this controversy continues to rage.
Well, I think...
if you present this in the international court, Ife was the origin, and the people are called Ife. And then somebody went away and set up something else. And then where did you invent this Yoruba from? Where? Ife niwa, Ife oye niwa. All of us, we are Ife people. So, I want to rest my case by saying there's no logic in continue to believe that Ife is Yoruba. Is imposition of a word that originally didn't come from Ife.
Yeah, but as a cultural student, one thing I understand about culture is the evolution. Culture evolves. Culture is dynamic. Things are changing. So if you're saying, oh, we are not Yoruba, we are Ife, don't you think evolution has, brought us together?
Let me put it this way. Evolution cannot come. And what is your surname?
Ojewumi.
You're Ojewumi. When the evolution comes, you become Jesu Abi. When the evolution, evolution cannot come to change the fact that we are Ife people.
I know, because we have pastors that are still bearing Ogundele. So it's not everyone. Not everyone. We have pastors that are still bearing Fabu Soro. So not everyone will change. Yeah.
Let me make it clear.
But my point is,
I want to make it quite clear to you. I have children abroad. They were born British immediately. They cannot come now and start calling all our family British. They have to be known by the Oriki.
I know, but you're not a British Nigerian.
I don't know the meaning of a British Nigerian. There's nobody called a British Nigerian.
Oh, that's like broad identity. Are you a citizen? Do you have the passport?
Let me make myself. This is it. Thank you for that question. Citizenship doesn't make you belong. I'm not an indigenous British. And let me also show you.
You don't have to.
Let me educate you. The passports for the British citizen have prefixes that tell you who you are, that you are not indigenous. I can never have English passport. I'm not English. Citizenship does not make you indigenous. Citizenship gives you the right to be part of the community that has accepted you to be that.
But I know that.
I don't hold it, yes.
There are forms of citizenship. You can claim the citizenship of a place maybe by naturalization, by.
Let me assist you.
Marriage.
Let me assist you. My mom and dad left Nigeria with British passports. They left in the 50s. My dad first, 56. I've still got the British passport issued in Nigeria to them. My mother, my father, I left Nigeria at the age of 17. So what do you want to call them? You want to call them British Nigerians? So this issue of identity needs to be clarified. The blood that flows through my vein has got nothing to do with where we are. The English, the Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish. Those are the indigenous.
Yeah.
I cannot call myself English. I cannot call myself Welsh. Those are the indigenous. But this, what I call ownership, by the English, the word British or United Kingdom. It's a conglomerate of different people. So the point you are trying to make, let's go back to it.
Yeah, my point is culture, culture is dynamic.
And I'm saying that this is why we have problems.
So,
listen,
things are changing.
We don't want it to change that way. Culture is dynamic. Let me give you an example.
Culture is not static.
This is where I come in, my dear. Our men are supposed, for instance, have as many wives as they choose. Their life is not supposed to be controlled by no woman. Now, most of you men, you are slaves to the women you sleep with. You say culture is dynamic. Has that made you? I'm a forefront traditionalist. I've had men coming to me asking for help. I've asked women asking for help with the relationship they've got. This one man, one woman business. Power torso, we didn't have that. Is that the kind of culture you want to say has changed? Our ancestors never had their lives controlled by women. Our men must be men. I'm giving you an example of what has happened. Our men are no longer men. They're actually slaves to women, who they are supposed to be. The word I want to use politely, they say, the owner of me, myself. So this culture changing, let me give you two words. Ṣàfẹ́ máa ṣe bó ṣe yẹ ká ṣe ni, àbẹ́fẹ́ máa ṣe bó ṣe gbà. That means, do we want to uphold our identity and be proud of who we are?
Okay.
Or do we want to be moved around because of the Western education you and I have had, because of the religion of Judaism that you've adopted, or because of the religion of the Arabs that you've adopted? We keep being moved from our spot to become somebody else, and we have a total chaos in every family. People with different beliefs. That is why this issue of unity becomes a problem, because you believe in something different to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why we preach tolerance. There is always freedom of religion, freedom of association. So if you want to be a Muslim, be a Muslim. If you want to be a traditionalist, be a traditionalist. But we can tolerate one another.
Thank you very much. And the Constitution of Nigeria, you've got the Sharia,
and in the
Constitution of Nigeria. No,
Southwest is an example of that.
Come and put Orisha in it.
Because you can have
Orisha in the Constitution of Nigeria. If you say you got tolerance,
Isheshe Day.
There's nothing called Isheshe Day.
There's Isheshe Day. So
Orisha Day is what we want. Aborisha
not Isheshe.
Listen carefully.
But some traditionalists.
Aborisha niwa. Those who coined the word Isheshe, they are the Babalawo. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn Ọ̀rúnmìlà náà coin Isheshe. If we are Isheshe people, Oni will be Oni Isheshe. Oni is not Oni Isheshe, it's Oni Irisha. Aborisha niwa.
But Isheshe speaks to the traditionalism you're talking. That's why I could call you a traditionalist, except you want to tell me that. Yeah, exactly.
Call me Aborisha. The right word to call me.
It also shows that I mean, you are not speaking with one voice, because some people advocated that by saying, okay, we also want that recognition. We want to have Isheshe Day. So you're saying there's nothing like Isheshe Day, it's Aborisha Day.
You see, this is the problem when it comes to the Muslims. And you don't change Christmas and replace it with another word for you to have holiday. You don't change Islam for you to have a day. With us, they had to go into Ifa. Ìyá ẹni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ni, bàbá ẹni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ni, orí ẹni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ni. That is in Odufa. Before that Odufa, ńkọ́? Do they think that Ọ̀rúnmìlà established the whole of the traditional life? I've told you, if Ọ̀rúnmìlà too was Orisha, Ọ̀rúnmìlà came as a human being. He could speak. So before him, what did we have? And are you saying that our ancestors who left a structure where Onirisha exists. They didn't have brains to call it Icheche. If you talk Icheche, you're talking about Babalawos. We are Aborisha. And we shall continue to retain that word. Listen, the Christianized politicians you got, the Islamized politicians you got, they are the ones who don't want to hear Aborisha.
That's what I'm saying, that it's not the fault of governments that approved Isheshe Day, because some people advocated that. So if you say, okay, we don't want Isheshe, we want Aborisha, I don't think government doesn't have problem with that. We're talking about nomenclature now. So we've started on me. So
listen to me very carefully. Àwa òṣòro ilé wa o, àwa òṣòro ilé wa o, ẹ̀sìn kan ò pé òye, ẹ̀sìn kan ò pé káwa má ṣòro, àwa òṣòro ilé wa o. Let me translate that to English. We, the people you call the Sheshe people, we've always been tolerant. Did you hear that song? We will ensure the tradition of our ancestors, regardless of whether you are Muslim or Christian.
Okay, so I want to believe that Oni shares this view too. So how
Oni share which view?
The view of, it's not Isheshe, it should be called
Thank you for asking that question.
So how come he's not advocating that? Because
this is another mistake on your part.
So
Onirisha, he's the spiritual head.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever seen the Pope going around campaigning for what is right or wrong?
No, he's not campaigning because you're telling us now that it's not Isheshe. So the Onirisha, as the spiritual head, then could clarify the way you're coming out to clarify that and say, no, this is a mistake. It's not Isheshe. So if Onirisha can also clarify that, I'm sure, governments won't have
listen to me.
They can then change that from Isheshe to Aborisha.
Onirisha is the head of We Aborisha. We Aborisha, we tell him we are Aborisha. Nobody can come and give us the name we don't have. Let me give you an example. You have Ifa Council. They say they call it Ifa Council. They don't call it Ifa and Orisha Council. The Babalawos, they are in charge of Odu Ifa Orunmila. That is what they specialize in. It's like the Bible. It's there to guide us. Listen, it's there to guide us. If they say it's religion, that's fine. That's why they have a Ijo all over the place. And they conduct themselves like churches. They have choir. Every Sunday they meet. That is Isheshe movement. With the Orisha people, Aborisha, initially, all we do is every five days we feed our Orisha. We communicate with our Orisha through our continued relationship with those who are our biological ancestors. That's what we do.
Yeah, I think I understand now that we have the Onisheshe, then the Aborisha. Just like in Muslim, they have the Sunni and the Shiites. So in Christian, we have for the Orthodox, Pentecostalism. So Orthodox churches, Pentecostal churches. So I think I understand.
Let me correct that so that it is clear. Those who are the Babalawos are the Onisheshe.
Okay.
The rest of us, we are Aborisha.
Okay.
Yes. Orunmila used to bow Orisha. Orunmila, yes, is Aborisha too.
Well, it's quite interesting that you're clarifying this. I hope you've written some books, on this.
How do you know?
So that
I'm in the middle of it.
So that this can be referred to, because you're saying a whole lot of misconceptions that need to be corrected.
And it's not your fault.
Yeah, you're a magistrate.
Yes.
Or you were a magistrate.
Yes.
I don't know. So, but how do you reconcile the traditional spirituality with Western democratic governance? Your professional life.
I don't wear anything else other than the way you see me.
Even in the...
I only wear robe.
Even in England?
Yes. Yes. I won elections with this. I don't own them. You last job, Gersi. I'm well known for that.
Okay. Well, our time is fast spent. I know you've campaigned for Africans from Africa to be recognized separately from the broader political label, British Black. How far have you gone with that? I feel nothing has changed.
Thank you for raising that question. I think that became inevitable. And I feel so sad because a 10-year-old girl, a 10-year-old male child, a 10-year-old called Lola, because of the economic crisis in the country, the mother brought him and other siblings. And within 3 months, he was stabbed on the street of England. Stabbed brutally. Because to him, he was amongst those who are like the peers he left in Nigeria. He found himself with other black faces. He found himself with children of African Caribbean heritage. And their experience of the white man totally different from that of Lola. Lola came from a middle class arena. And he saw people bringing knives into the school, people wanting to threaten their teachers because they've been victim of racism in the society. Their parents have been through it. Lola had no experience of that. So the attempt was to recruit Lola, talking about unity, to become part of it and be fighting against the white man. So that was the beginning, black on black violence. It's just a shame. That was the year 2000. And children of African heritage, African heritage, different from African Caribbean. They continue to be murdered. They continue to be bullied. All is to do with conformity. Blackness presented as sameness. So the two groups, African Africa and Caribbean Africa, they want to be the same. The ones that with Caribbean heritage, those who have no clue about Caribbean experiences, to be the same. So the conflict continues. I have to say that it has been made quite clear to the system, because once upon a time, we were all given the category African Caribbeans. And one of the success I had was to ensure that we have a category called Africa. We have a category called Caribbean. That doesn't mean that we don't have same heritage. But unfortunately, our cultures are not the same. Some of us are pretty home. The others are distant, wanted to come home. And I'm sure at some point, the understanding will continue to increase. And that's another success. Africa, people of African Caribbean heritage, they're coming to Nigeria. Yeah. They're beginning to go and do DNA tests to certain wherever they come from. So I'm proving that all blacks are not the same.
Yeah.
Because
blacks are not,
they're not the same.
Yeah, of course.
So they're beginning to find the roots.
Yes.
Those who, although they even look black, but they are more of Italians. Surprised you would be, we're not the same. When I visited Trinidad and Tobago, I was shocked by an experience that was shared. Young people came to see me. They were standing across the street and I invited them in. They came to give me a warning. The warning was, like every Nigerian, although I didn't go from Nigeria, I went from England. They said, like every Nigerian, I should not bring juju to their country. I said, Juju, yes. I said, they said they brought for me obia. They gave me a little item. They said, this is obia. They said they don't want me to leave my juju in their country. I said, what's the difference? They said, obia do good. Juju is evil. So telling me that in their country, they use the heritage to make a positive difference. My wife has the right to go to the marriage registry to say I have ring. All the 10 wives must be able to register. I have to say, in fairness, you can't register traditional marriages, but you see, this is where westernization, modernization, appropriateness comes into it.
Okay, thank you so much. Can go on and on, but yes, time is on our side. Time up. Honorary Alderman Erelu Tuashe Lola Ajiun, a globally renowned champion of the return to the true tradition of the Yoruba ancestors, and that's all we discussed on the program today. They argued that culture evolves, but she's saying no. This evolution, we have to be careful so that we won't dilute or there won't be adulteration. So she wants that pure tradition and not adulterated tradition. So thank you so much. It's nice to have you in Ogun State, and of course it's nice to have you in our studios. Yes, maybe in our subsequent programs we'll definitely reach out anytime we want to talk about culture or Yoruba culture. Then you say now if people are not Yoruba. So that's the show.
Ife traditions.
Ife traditions.
I think that's the next one we must look at, Ife traditions.
Thank you so much, Erelu. I come your way again with another eminent personality. Do have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.
Kafin fitowar